Hello everyone, this is Pastor Frank Demora here. A lot of you have been wondering why I haven't made any new videos. Is because my computer died on me and I had to find somebody to fix it, and I ran across a really good tech that my son used when his computer was on the fritz. So I want to put a plug-in for this tech because this tech is honest, his prices are really good, and he is excellent in what he does. When you go over to my website, you're going to see a little ad that I put up for him because I was so impressed. I gave him a 5-star review. My computer was really slow, and after he was done working with it, it's lightning fast, and I couldn't have been more pleased, especially when I'm doing the Lord's work and I want to get these videos out to you and post every day. And Sean has made that possible. His company is Lompoc Computer Repair. And when you go over to my website, you'll see this picture here. Just click, when you go over to my website, as you see right here, just click on the picture and you'll see the picture enlarged for yourselves. This is Sean, and you'll see the different services that he has. He also has a remote service available. So here's all his information. If you'd like to get your computer adjusted, fixed, maybe it's slow, please, I recommend the Lompoc Computer Repair. Sean is excellent. Now, for those of you who just found my website, and it's been a while since I made a video, what I do is I'll post the prophecy that the Lord told us about for the last days. For example, as you see here, the prophecy about the intensity of the sun that would be scorching the earth and the consequences of it. And then what I do is I'll show you the relation to the warning that the Lord gave to us, and then the news that connects what the Lord said to compare to what exactly is happening. So Arizona breaks excessive heat record, could beat more by this weekend. So if you've been watching the news, it's not just Arizona, but we're seeing the climate, the heat getting hotter and hotter. And I've been warning about this for decades. And those who've been following me since the Lord put me in this ministry in 1976, you'll know that these things that I've been warning you about are coming right from the Lord, right out of the Bible. It's not something that you'd have to be a prophet. All you have to do is read the scriptures and you'll understand exactly what Jesus Christ has warned about these last days. And what's taking place now is identical to what he warned. Here's another one about the ocean temperatures off of Florida coast hit hot tub-like 97 degrees. As scientists warn, heat wave will cause unprecedented damage to fragile coral reefs. But not only does it affect the coral reefs, but it's affecting all of the fish in the sea that is warming up, because what happens, the warmer the weather, the less oxygen, because the warmer weather heats up the water, and as it heats up the water, the oxygen dissipates and the fish have a hard time breathing. And when you look at my book, you'll see page after page, thousands of pages of mass die-offs of fish because warm water has killed them off. So in the news today, I cover the last part of what Jesus spoke about in Matthew chapter 24, for example, and Luke chapter 17, where he compares our last generation that would exist at the time that Israel was a nation again, which we know that Israel's a nation again since May 14th, 1948. And this is when these things really started to intensify. So the last generation, according to Jesus, would have the same characteristics as was seen during Noah's generation, was a godless people, and in Lot. Now we know what happened in the story of Lot when the two angels came to get Lot and his family out of Sodom and Gomorrah, there were men who wanted to have sex with the angels. And of course, these men were blinded by the angels, and Lot was taken out of the city, and once they were to a safe area, God incinerated Sodom and Gomorrah because it became a godless society. And you'll see the scriptures behind that to show you what the Lord warned about. And then right now there's a move towards transgenderism. There's a move that's called woke. You probably all know about it. Now, if you're one of the people that are in this movement, that's between you and God. I'm just showing you what God warned about and what is actually taking place, and then you can make the decision how you want to live your life. There's another one, 1 Timothy chapter 4, verses 1 through 3. Notice it talks about the last times. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times, that means the end, some shall depart from the faith which we're seeing now, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, which we are seeing not just in the United States, but we're seeing this in many places around the world. And you'll notice in the big letters are red, forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats. And we see governments that, because of what they're pushing climate change, they're trying to get rid of the meat. And here's an article that relates to that. Agenda 2030, the USDA approves Bill Gates lab-grown Frankenstein food. Meat as our global society lurches ever forward into a dystopian abyss. And finally, we have another one that I put up quite a bit. It's a future war that it's coming very, very quickly, by the way. It's the Psalm 83 war, and what I did for you is I listed everyone that the Lord showed us that would be attacking Israel in the Psalm 83 war. You'll see the scriptures down here. And when you look at the reports, you'll see Iran is the shadow behind what's taking place. That's the name of the article, Iran's shadow war. And they are pushing the people in the same regions. They are the same people that are listed in the Psalm 83 war. You'll see Hezbollah, and you'll see Lebanon, Gaza, Hamas. So what we're actually seeing is a prelude to this Psalm 83 war. And of course, we know that Iran's involved in the Ezekiel war. Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39 talk about that war where it's the different nations. It's not the nations that border Israel like we see here in Psalm 83. But Ezekiel chapter 38 are the nations outside the bordering of Israel. But Iran is one of the major people in the many nations who try to destroy Israel in that Ezekiel 38 war. So what's happening with Iran pushing the people in Gaza and the Hamas and in Lebanon, the people of Hezbollah that are enemies of Israel? Eventually Iran is going to be facing Israel, and we know the outcome, that God is going to intervene in that Ezekiel war and Israel will not be destroyed. And of course, we've been seeing all kinds of crazy weather. We know that the major storms are coming. They're getting worse, flooding in many, many parts around the world, and they're only going to continue to get worse. We're seeing nations in distress because so many people are displaced. Billions of dollars of destruction from all of these extreme weather conditions. And of course, when you look at the news, we're seeing these things almost on a daily basis now, and I put up a few of these. You'll see when you go over to my website and click the links right here, and it will give you the news if you want to read completely what's going on. Historic rains, floodings, it's just some of the things that the Lord revealed to us that were going to happen in the last days. Here's another one. Extreme weather conditions trigger severe tomato crisis in India. Prices soar by over 400%. Now, in the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 6, Jesus shows us that the prices were going to be outrageous. People are going to have to work all day long for one small meal. And one of the things that takes place when you have these massive storms, the crops are destroyed. And when you destroy those crops, all it does is raise the price of whatever crop is destroyed, because the less food you have, the more it's going to cost. And of course, everybody knows about pestilence, and Jesus warned about the pestilences that would be coming in the last days. And here we have another report. 84% jab. Peru declares health emergency after Guillain-Barré outbreak. Now, if you want to see a complete list of prophecies for the last days, and you want to see a huge amount of evidence that we're definitely in the last days, you can go over to my website that you see here and click the link. My latest book, updated book, is June 19th, 2023. I keep this thing updated for you. You can get it for free. I want to make sure that you understand how close we are. The scriptures are there, the prophecies that show us about the last days, and all you have to do is see the connection. And once you see that connection, you may be like so many other people who have read the material and decided to start reading the Bible. And because they made the connection of what I'm doing, showing them what was written in the Bible, they've come to the knowledge that we are in the last days, and Jesus Christ is telling us the truth. He is the Messiah. He died for us. He rose again. And anyone who believes in him would be going home when he calls the church, which is called the rapture of the church. So if you haven't received the Lord as your personal Lord and Savior, just read this last page at my website. It just gives you, it helps you to make that commitment to Jesus Christ, to begin a new life, to be born again in Jesus. Because without being born again of the Spirit in Jesus Christ, there's no way that you can enter into the Father's home, which is in heaven. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man goes to the Father except through me. He did the work for us on the cross, and all we have to do is say yes to the Messiah, Jesus Christ. God bless.